All right, welcome back to the studio here for BTN TV. Once again, I'm Michael Baker, Executive Editor with BTN, and I'm joined now by Adam Kerr, who is the founder and CEO of Tripism. Adam, welcome.
Hi Michael, how's it going?
Great. All right, so let's start. For the uninitiated, tell us a bit about Tripism and what you do.
So Tripism is a platform for business travel. So we work with large customers, so people like Microsoft, and what we found is that travel teams have been using kind of legacy intranets and old kind of tools and technology to try and engage with their business travelers, but now the complexity of the information and the rate of change of that information is kind of beyond those legacy tools. So we're working to replace those pages in the same way that if you think HR pages moved to Workday, now travel and to some extent expense pages are moving to Tripism.
All right, excellent. And that rate of change is something we've been watching, and especially during COVID where things could just change overnight and you have to change the rules kind of on the fly, so it certainly makes sense. So how did things go during COVID? Of course, I imagine a lot of your customers stopped traveling altogether, but how did you do in terms of customer retention?
Yeah, so we're lucky that we have a 100% retention rate since we first started 6 years ago. So all of our customers are still with us, which is great. We had two customers who literally had no travel, and they asked for a kind of pause. So we, suspended the service, but now they're back with us. And for some of the companies, they were still doing some travel, so we did quite a lot of kind of customization work to bring COVID safety information. We worked with people like Travel Vitals and International SOS. We did some custom projects to kind of capture feedback from travelers about, how was the COVID safety protocol in different hotels. We work with all of the different airline and hotel partners to kind of present their COVID safety information within our pages. So it was clear to travelers. We did it in kind of bite-sized, chunks rather than pages and pages. And then I think the review piece that we do, so when a traveler comes back from a trip, we ask them about, how was their experience. And I think that, feedback from other travelers really gave travelers who were traveling for the first time kind of confidence that, it was okay on the flight, and, it was all right in the hotel and things. So, but yeah, and since, probably about 18 months ago, we saw a big kind of, uplift of the number of inbound inquiries and new customers that we were signing on. So, people looking for more information, this ability to be able to engage with travelers. And then since then, we've seen a huge spike in new customers and usage. So our platform usage is now 250% of what it was pre-COVID. Wow. We're bringing on about 20,000 new users a month. So yeah, it's really storming ahead now.
That's great news all around to hear. We're happy to hear that the rebound is kind of doing a nice little snowball for us. Yeah. So is it largely kind of large enterprise customers that you work with? Do you work with any smaller customers, or who's your typical customer?
Yep, so today we work predominantly with the large enterprise customers. We are looking at an SME solution, but our focus has been entirely on those enterprise corporations.
All right, so let's talk about kind of what they're focusing on right now, because we see the news of all the disruptions happening, long queues at airports, long wait times, the delays and such. So kind of what sort of information are they looking to present to their travelers to help them deal with these disruptions?
Yeah, I mean, travel teams, as ever, are really busy, probably more busy than normal. I think there's so many things going on. There's sustainability information. There's return to travel information. A lot of travelers, they haven't been out on the road for 2 years, so even kind of some of the basics that they need. Travel teams have forged new relationships, so it might be kind of food delivery services or new safety partners. So we're now helping them kind of announce those new partnerships, tell travelers how they're good for the traveler and also good for the organization. We're providing updates about the changes to their tools, and some of the companies we work with, they have different kind of travel updates in different markets, so we share that information. We're working with the suppliers also because, as COVID hopefully continues to dip, we're seeing a massive focus on sustainability. So we're working with our customers to present, preferred hotels that are sustainable. We're helping the airlines and the hotels and other partners present their sustainability information to the travelers. So yeah, there's a huge amount going on, and the team's working hard to help the customers present that information.
Excellent. And with the sustainability information, are you seeing that drive behavior in terms of kind of what travelers are booking and looking at?
So with different customers, we have different ways that we present the content. For a lot of the customers now, they're asking us to present the sustainable properties first, so the first ones that people see. So that in itself, drives users to look at those properties and to book those. I think part of it, some of it's around awareness also, so to be able to give travelers the information, to make sure that the companies that they work with have good sustainable policies. And I think also, using the hotels as an example, if you're a hotel that hasn't achieved the company's sustainability rating and you're kind of down the bottom of the page, there's an added incentive for those companies to improve their sustainability efforts so that they kind of achieve the standard and then they're back on a level par with the other properties that are out there.
And in terms of COVID information, we're seeing restrictions kind of start to lift around the world, even though it's very much still with this. But is that still kind of top of mind when you present information about COVID in destinations, things like that, or is that kind of falling out of kind of priority?
It's a good question. So it's starting to change. For the last 2 years, it's been upfront. Foremost, traveler safety and security obviously has been paramount for all organisations. I think now that COVID's on the downturn, so what we're doing with customers is we still have the information, it's there available for travelers, but it's now further down the page. And other things like sustainability are taking priority. A lot of the suppliers are providing great benefits and promotions to drive those relationships back with the travelers and things. So people are looking at those benefits and promotions as well, so which is good.
And where is cost fitting in as a priority right now? Especially as we see inflation, we see fuel surcharges, some hotel rates are going up. Is cost kind of becoming a more critical part of the equation, or is there kind of a shift where we've seen travel management maybe move away from being so procurement focused and kind of more into the HR sector?
Yeah. I think it's a really interesting time for travel teams. So a lot of the work has been focused on procurement, but I think now the role of the travel team has broadened. A lot of things that HR would have done because people just went to the office and things is now, becoming more a responsibility of travel teams because people are working outside of the office, and sometimes with those teams they're meeting, at a meeting venue outside of it, and all of that's organised by the travel team. So I think the role is changing. We haven't seen any impact yet from the kind of economic situation, but I'm sure if things become tougher economically, then maybe there will become a bigger increase on procurement also. But I think that means both of those things become important for the travel team. So
well, we're nearing budget season and RFP season and all those fun things. So I'm sure there'll be clearer pictures as we get through that. All right, great. So what are some of the other trends you're seeing?
I think so. The first piece is around, like we talked about before, about digitization. So, I think within organizations over the last few years, there's been a huge push to be able to engage with employees generally. But for travel teams, it's been super hard to be part of that journey because, they didn't really have the tools or technology to do it. So, they had a booking tool, but you can't really kind of communicate or engage very much through there. It's designed to do the transaction. And then you had these kind of legacy intranet pages. So I think now there's much more focus around communication to the travelers, and hence that's why I think we're seeing an uptick in the business that we're seeing. The other piece about it is, I think for a long time travel teams have had a really fantastic travel program. The problem was the travelers didn't know about it. So I think with the better tools and technology now enables them to communicate it. So all the great work the travel teams continue to do is now appreciated by the travelers. I think traveler well-being and focus, obviously kind of paramount during COVID. That's continuing through, and then sustainability I think is going to be the next kind of huge kind of focus for organizations.
We're always happy to hear that travel managers are getting their due respect,
exactly.
which they have been denied a lot of times over the years. All right. Well, unfortunately, we're out of time, but thank you so much, Adam, for your insight and telling us about Tripism. And we'll be back for some more interviews a bit later. In the meantime, enjoy the show.